Welcome in to the MISL Weekend Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by Chris Economides. And Chris, three fascinating games this Friday night across the MISL, starting in Syracuse as the Silver Knights host the St. Louis Ambush at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Syracuse, undefeated, but this may be the biggest test they get so far from an expansion Ambush side that has looked pretty sturdy so far in their three games. What are you expecting to see out of Friday night's contest?
Interesting contest, Nicholas. This is St. Louis's first road game of the season. They're away from the friendly confines of the St. Charles Family Arena. We'll see how they fare on the road. You know, it's a two-game and two-night trip. Obviously, Syracuse off to a tremendous 4-0 start. St. Louis, after a devastating loss against Missouri in their second game, devastating from in terms of the score, came back and took the Comets to overtime. Made a lot of strides there. Should be an interesting game to see Friday when they play their first road game.
Now, also Friday night, 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time, the Baltimore Blast return home to host the Rochester Lancers. Blast coming off that tough loss to the Milwaukee Wave. Rochester coming off their first win of the season, first win for Josh Reif. And this week, the addition of J.P. Rodriguez to their defense. Is this a game that the Lancers might have a shot at winning if there's a little bit of a hangover for Baltimore from that loss to the Wave?
I don't know if there'll be a hangover other than them being really, really angry at themselves for letting a 10-2 lead slip away. So they're going to be an angry team looking for, to get back on the right track. As we've mentioned in the past, Rochester needs to be able to go in and beat a Baltimore. Just as, the Comets beat Milwaukee last year, sort of slayed the dragon that's been in front of them. I think until the Lancers can go into a Baltimore and beat the Blast, that's their mission right now, is to be able to go in there and win against a Baltimore team, either at home or on the road. And I think it may start this weekend.
Well, speaking of the Comets and the Wave, the Comets host the Wave at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:35 p.m. Central Time at the Independence Events Center. Now, this is a rematch of one of the opening game of the season, and that one was an instant classic. 23-21, Milwaukee came back to take victory in overtime. The Comets have got to be out for revenge here, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how Keith Tozer and the Wave do it. They were up 21-15 with less than 3 minutes left, came back, tied it up in the last minute. Ian Bennett went in overtime. As we've also said in the past, I think that this rivalry now is even greater than the Wave-Blast rivalry because of the Comets' ability to beat the Wave in the playoffs last year. That first game certainly was an MISL classic, 23-21. I expect more of the same. I think, again, these two teams and organizations probably don't send each other Christmas cards. So there's probably there is some dislike there. I think the Comets all want to pay them back for their opening night loss, and I think the Wave want to continue their role. We'll see how it pans out.
Well, all those three games and Saturday night's game as the St. Louis Ambush visit the Rochester Lancers will all be available on YouTube. We hope you'll join us for all the action there, and we hope you'll join us early next week for the MISL Weekend Recap. Until then, for Chris, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.